and today I'm going to be filming a simple back to school makeup look for beginners. This makeup look contains all drugstore products, so if you are starting out on makeup, these are definitely products that are affordable for you. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get straight on into it. So I first off just want to say, if you are starting to wear makeup, I do recommend moisturizing before you apply your makeup. It's incredibly important. For this makeup look, I'm not going to be using primer because I don't really feel like it's that necessary, but I do recommend moisturizing on any makeup look. Whenever you do makeup, I always recommend moisturizing your skin at first. This will just help your skin stay moisturized and hydrated, obviously, and it also stops the makeup from actually sitting on your skin. So the two moisturizers that I recommend, the first one is the Tea Tree Skin Clearing Lotion from the Body Shop, and this is suitable for blemished skin. So if you are starting out in makeup, it may be because you have a few blemishes that you want to cover. So this moisturizer is perfect for that because it moisturizes your skin and it also treats your blemishes. It doesn't have SPF in it, so which is your sun protection, but if you are applying like BB cream, which is what I'm going to be using in this makeup look, BB creams usually have SPF in them, so you should be okay with that. But if you are wanting to use a moisturizer with SPF, the other one I recommend is also from the Body Shop, and this one is the Vitamin E Moisture Lotion, which has SPF 15. And this one is for all skin types, so it's not really for a specific oily combination or dry combination, anything like that. So they are the two moisturizers that I recommend. Like I said, they're both from the Body Shop and they are pretty affordable and they work really well. Now moving on to the actual makeup application, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Dream Pure BB Cream. And as I said before, if you are starting to want to wear makeup because you have a few breakouts or acne that you want to cover, I do recommend trying this BB cream out because it does contain salicylic acid, and salicylic acid is really good for breakouts because this doesn't just cover your breakouts and blemishes, but the salicylic acid actually treats your acne as well. So it's killing all the bacteria and helping it to heal. So yeah, as I said, this is the one with salicylic acid, so it's in the blue type of packaging, but Maybelline do also have just a normal one, which is for any skin type, and is in a pink type of packaging. But if you do have acne, I do recommend trying out this one. And as I said before, most BB creams do have SPF in it, and this does contain SPF 15, so it does give you your sun protection as well. So I'm just going to be squeezing a bit onto my finger. You can use a brush, but it is just a BB cream, so it doesn't really need to be applied with a brush. So I'm just going to be applying some to my cheeks, my chin, my forehead, and a little bit on my nose like that. And then I will then go in afterwards and blend it out with my fingers. So as you can see, I'm kind of just rubbing it in. If you really want to, you can just go straight in and use a foundation, but as I said, this makeup look is for beginners, so I recommend starting out with a BB cream just so you kind of get a feel of the makeup and you kind of get used to it, and then you can go on and start using foundation, which is obviously a little bit more high coverage. But I wouldn't really recommend going from not wearing any makeup to going straight into foundation. You can if you want, it's really up to you guys, but I personally would use a BB cream first just to get used to it. That's how I started wearing makeup. So I'm just going to be applying a little bit more and just focus this on the areas that aren't really covered up yet. As you can see, it's a very, very light look, but it still has a little bit of coverage, and it basically just makes your skin look a little bit more flawless. That's the whole kind of idea of BB cream. It's something very light on your skin, but it just evens out your skin tone. Also, I just quickly want to say, if you can't find the Maybelline BB cream, I know Garnier also has one that has salicylic acid in it. I believe it's called the Pure Active one. There is also one from the Body Shop as well. It's just their BB cream, and it has tea tree in it. So it's just like the moisturizer, but it's obviously a BB cream. So it's basically like this, but then it has a tint to it. and I really like that one. It's really good as well. So if you can't find the Maybelline one, there are quite a few other options, and I'm sure there's many other brands that have them as well. And that is just what my skin looks like so far. So as you can see, the skin tone of it has evened out a little bit more, and there's a little bit less redness. There's obviously still some redness because it's not a high coverage foundation, it's just a BB cream, but most of my skin is pretty much all one color now. The next step is honestly up to you. It's quite optional. You don't really need to do it if you don't want to, but I'm just going to be going in with a concealer. This is the Rimmel Wake Me Up Concealer. It's a very good one, also quite affordable. Another really good concealer is the Maybelline Fit Me. It's very, very popular, so you can always use that one, and there's more shades with the Maybelline Fit Me one. What I'm going to be doing with this is just applying a little bit underneath my eye areas. You probably don't need to do this if you're just starting out with makeup. You're probably quite young, so you're not going to have any dark circles or anything. And I'm also just going to apply some on my blemishes where the BB cream didn't cover it up. As I said, completely optional. If you don't have anything that you feel like needs to be covered up, and if you don't have blemishes, you don't really need to use this step at all. But if you do have a few blemishes that you are a little bit self-conscious about, you can just go in with the concealer and just put a little bit on them to cover it up. So as I said, I'm just getting the concealer and just putting it on the areas which I feel I need to cover up a little bit more. And I'm also just applying a little bit underneath my eye area just to cover my dark circles, but if you're young you probably won't have any, so you really don't need to worry about that. Now I'm just going to go in and use my finger to blend all that out. Again, you can use a brush, but you honestly don't really need to. So that is the BB cream and concealer done, and obviously my face looks a lot more flawless now with the concealer. The next thing I'm going to do, which is also optional, you honestly don't need to do this either. If you are in a rush or you want a very basic makeup, I recommend just using the BB cream, but the next few steps I'm doing are quite optional, and it's really how much makeup you really want to put on. But if you do have oily skin and you're worried about your makeup sliding off or the concealer not staying on, I do recommend this step, especially if you are using concealer, because you don't want to just leave your concealer the way it is now because it can crease. So I recommend using a powder. Now this powder here is just the Australis Fresh and Flawless. It's quite cheap, I think it's about $12. It's a very good powder, and it's also oil free as well, so if you do have oily skin, this will really just help to keep your face matte all day. And also I quickly want to say, if you don't want to use BB cream, you can just use powder if you really want to. So if you want, you can do BB cream, concealer and powder, or you can just do concealer and powder, or if you want you can just do powder. There's really a lot of different options you can do with makeup, so it's really up to you, as I said. So I'm just going to apply the powder mainly where I applied the concealer, just to keep it in place so it doesn't move at all during the day. But I'm also going to apply a little bit on my forehead and my T-zone just to keep my skin matte and so it doesn't get oily throughout the day. I'm just going to be using a little sponge. You can use a brush, but if you're just starting out with makeup and you don't feel like buying any brushes or you're not really sure what to buy, sponges are always good because they do give a little bit more of a high coverage look and they still give a very nice finish. So I'm just going to be pressing the powder underneath my eyes. And I do also recommend, even if you're using a brush, never swipe your powder on because that will just end up taking your concealer and BB cream off, or foundation. I always recommend patting your powder on because that will just press the powder onto your skin and really keep your products in place. Whereas if you swipe, as I said, it will just end up scraping all your products off. So again, just underneath the other eye, I'm just going to be pressing the powder. And then I'm also going to be putting some on my T-zone. So just pressing the powder on the forehead. As I said, this is an optional step. You don't need to. If your skin is quite dry, you don't necessarily need to apply powder. But if your skin is a little bit oily and you're worried that the BB cream and concealer aren't going to last, I do recommend using powder because it'll just keep it all in place. I'm just going to be pressing a little bit on my cheeks as well, just to mattify that. And also just a little bit on my nose. So that is my base makeup all completed, and as you can see, it's a very flawless type of finish. Has pretty good coverage, but it's not too much. It doesn't look like you're wearing a ton of makeup. So it's very, very simple to do, and as you saw, I basically did all this with just 3 steps, and it still gives a quite nice finish. There is a little blemish there, but again, you can just go in with concealer and cover it up, and then put powder on top. Always put powder on after your cream products. You don't want to be putting on cream products, powder, because then your makeup can look a little bit cakey. So if you are applying cream products, try and do them always before you apply your powder products, because the powder is what keeps all the cream in place and just sets it, whereas the cream, if you put on top of powder, as I said, it can start to look a little bit cakey throughout the day. Now the next 3 steps are really optional. So I'm going to be applying a blush. This is just a Rimmel blush, very affordable, and it's a very nice color. It's very, very natural. I'm not exactly sure if they make this exact shade anymore, but I know there are very similar blushes to this color that you can get at the drugstore. It doesn't necessarily have to be Rimmel, just any type of natural blush. I am using an angled brush for this, but most blushes do come with a little brush. So as you can see, this blush here does come with a little brush that looks like this. So you honestly don't need to use an actual blush brush if you are starting out with makeup. You can just use this and just see how you go. All you want to do is just get a little bit by tapping it in your product like that, and just tap it off a little bit just so you don't get too much on your brush. It's always better to apply a little bit and then apply a little bit more, rather than just getting your whole brush loaded up with products and applying it, because if you put too much on, you're going to have to remove all of that makeup and then redo it. And you just want to focus it on the apples of your cheek, which is just here. So it's just across from your nose and a little bit up. And with this, you can do circular motions, or you can also swipe it like this. It's really up to you, whatever you feel comfortable doing. So there is my blush. You can see it just gave a little bit more color to my cheeks, made me look a little bit more alive. And if you do end up applying too much blush, just go back in with your little powdered sponge or brush and kind of just press over top of it, and that will just take away some of the color and will apply a little bit of powder to your face so the blush isn't as intense. Now for the second last step, I'm going to be using mascara. Again, this is completely optional. You really do not need to. If you have amazing eyelashes already, you don't need to do this step. But if you do feel like doing something a little bit extra to your look, you can apply a little bit of mascara. I don't recommend applying eyeliner because that is a bit much, especially if you're first starting out, and it might be a bit tricky, so I'd recommend practicing eyeliner first. But you can definitely use mascara if you want to. So I'm just using the Maybelline Define-A-Lash Volume Mascara. So this is just good for volume, gives a little bit of length to my lashes as well. And I'm just going to be applying it, and when I apply it, I'm kind of wriggling the brush up from my lashes. So I try and get as close to the root of my lashes as possible and just wriggle the brush up so it gets every single eyelash hair and coats it. So that is my mascara done, and as you can see, it really just transforms the eye look and adds a lot more volume and length to my lashes. If you want to, you can just apply mascara to your top lashes, but I like to apply it to my top and bottom just to balance out the eye look. And if you want, you can apply a little bit of a shimmery eyeshadow to your lid, just something very, very natural. I wouldn't go pinks and blues and purples. I would just go something very, very neutral, and maybe with a little bit of shimmer. But I'm not going to do that today. You can do that step if you want. But the last thing I am going to do is just apply a little bit of lip balm. This is by the brand More, which is M-O-R, and it is a tinted lip balm. So you can either use just a plain lip balm with no tint at all, or if you want, you can use a very neutral lipstick. But I do recommend just starting out with a tinted lip balm because you're still getting the moisture and the type of look from a lip balm, but it also adds a little bit of colour. So this is just what it looks like in the little pot. It looks super intimidating and incredibly dark, but it does not come out on your lips like that at all. It just gives a very nice, natural, rosy type of colour for your lips. And this is in the shade Berry, and it is a Rosehip lip tint. So it contains Rosehip, which is super moisturising for your lips as well. So I'm just going to be using my clean finger and just apply it on my lips. So that is my lips completed, and as you can see, there's just a little bit of the glossy finish. They're super moisturized and has a little bit of a tint as well. This lip balm is a little bit pricey, but there are heaps of other options from the drugstore that you can get that are also tinted lip balms. I know Maybelline have quite a few tinted lip balms in their range, in like the baby lips range, and they're pretty good. And you can also get some from Nivea and brands like that. So you don't need to get this one, but any tinted lip balm will do. I just use this one because it's one of the only ones that I have. So that is the end of this simple back to school makeup look for beginners. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you learned a few tips and tricks on how to apply makeup if you're doing it for the first couple of times. It's quite natural and is very wearable for school. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And also comment down below on what videos you guys would like to see next. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Also, you can follow me on social media on my Instagram and Twitter. The links are down below as always. My Instagram is OliviaG2610 and my Twitter is BeautyByLiv26. And as I said before, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye!